Okay, so now we're ready for the blue. And, but the ears are a pain. This is the hardest spot, the ears. But they're kind of easier to do if you're not stitched in tight. So I am kind of leaning towards coming back to this section of blue and dealing with the top part of the ear, this ear right here, this part first, and then coming back to that. So if we continue on with our 3/4 away around the ears, you know, like what we've been doing. I say it about there. Okay. Then for sure we need to snip straight down to there and to our edges. Okay, those are kind of our critical points. Then let's see what we got. That wasn't much of a snip down. Then we got some weird, when you do this tight of a corner, you got some kind of weird extra. Okay, so fold over the top. So I'm just trying it this time, this way. I've done it a couple different ways. Let's see. So I think fold the top first. Then fold over this side. And then if we fold over this side, that kind of works. Okay, let me do it again for you. You only have a certain amount of times because your woven fabric, whether it's linen or Aida, is going to start to unravel on you. But what I just did seemed to work. I'm going to snip that a little bit, and I'm going to angle the top a little bit more because we don't need all of that. Okay, so what I did is I went the top, make sure I'm in camera, the top first, then the sides, and then smash it down onto the wool. And that worked. I made one major mistake. I don't have my thread ready. So don't do that. Like, I'm very carefully going to lay this down, and I need my lighter brown. I should have had that needle ready. As I dig in my tin for my lighter brown. Because I can't emphasize enough how more you mess with it, once you trim it down, the less you mess with it, the better you're going to be. Because every time you look at it or touch it, it's going to, some of that fiber is going to unravel and fall out. I mean, I have stitched them down in that shape. It's not like you've ruined it. You just make your job way harder. Okay, the other thing, pick it up very gently, is I gotta anchor it. Let's do this part first. Be smarter than I am. Okay. It is perfectly fine, and I would suggest it, to use your thread to tack it down preferably without a knot. Tack your ear down a couple stitches. And then lock it off. Am I still in frame? Okay, and then lock it off. So you can get that other ear. I don't know what is going on with this knot. There, that'll work. So we have that ear, so let's do this ear. So, same thing. We snipped that. We don't need that. We need to snip this closer. We need to snip there. And we have a snip there, right? So if we fold, oh, we need a snip on this side. Am I in frame? Okay. Fold top down first. And then see how we don't need all of this? So kind of making that wedge. Once you know which way the wedge should go. Helps you not have so much fabric. So see, I made those two wedges. So you don't have as much fabric to deal with. And I need a snip here. And probably not all of that. So deal with that top first. Did it again. Well, I guess I have my, technically I have my thread ready. Fold that over. If you're like, I don't know if I want to do this, right there, that was the hardest thing you have to do. Okay, same thing. Anchor. Oops. Anchor your thread. Lock it. Is it snowing again? Okay. Get that top the best you can. And then come in somewhere and then just do a couple loop-de-doos. Okay. Put your needle in, send it off. All right, so now we have our two ears. I mean, you couldn't wiggle them around, but they're at least tacked down to where they'll be easier to deal with. And then send your thread off. Okay, let's see where we're at. All right, so now you can stitch ahead and you know you're good to here. Like you're not going to stitch, because do you see what I'm saying? That like if we had stitched to here, doing this would have been a lot harder. But the fact that we prepped that ahead of time, now we can stitch around before we need to go ahead again.